Yo, it's Popper and everyone, welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing another breathing review in Demon Slayer RPG2. Now for today's breathing review, I'm going to be reviewing the breathing that will never get nerfed, aka water breathing. Now, as a reason as to why water breathing will never get nerfed, it's because that the game creator himself, Fugoshi, uses this breathing since he is the Tanjiro of the game. Now, moving on to my own personal opinion on the breathing. Now, honestly, I personally wouldn't use this breathing. Honestly, if I had to say, this is probably my least favorite breathings out of all the breathings in the entire game. Now, if you guys came to this video wanting to know if you guys should switch over to water breathing, well, if you guys are looking for a extremely easy to use and new user-friendly breathing, I honestly recommend switching to water breathing. Now, honestly, just because I wouldn't personally use this breathing doesn't mean that you guys should neglect it and say, oh, you know, water breathing is a shitty ass breathing and nobody should use it. Matter of fact, water breathing is probably one of the most broken breathings in the entire game, ranking 4th in my own personal chart. Alright, so now moving on to the pros and cons of water breathing. I'm going to start off with the pros first, then move on to the cons. Alright, so of course for the very first pro of this breathing, I'm going to be talking about its non-existent cooldowns. Literally, the cooldowns for this breathing are practically non-existent. You can literally use move after move after move, pretty much just spamming your moves to win. And pretty much what carries water breathing isn't the player, but literally its non-existent cooldowns. Now, I won't lie, I kind of did over-exaggerate on the statement that I made talking about how water breathing's non-existent cooldowns do carry its players. Now, I won't lie, that does apply for a good majority of the water breathers. However, there are a few water breathers, of course, OMBZ, a good friend of mine named Sam, and the Water Suguko Wrath. That doesn't apply to them. Honestly, I haven't even seen them spam water breathing before, and they're hella raw. Like, honestly, they would body you any day. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Now, another pro of water breathing would be its insane damage output. It's just like thunder breathing. It has an insane damage output, but you guys just need to know how to combo with water breathing. If you guys don't know how to combo with water breathing, honestly, it's practically useless. The only thing you'll be really doing is just spamming, and honestly, that won't help you at all. Now, I will teach you guys one basic water breathing combo because literally, this is the only water breathing combo that I'm aware of. So, to begin with, you guys want to put your opponent into a 5-in-1 combo, into a third skill, then another 4-in-1 combo into a second skill, and there you go. That's pretty much your very first basic water breathing combo. Now, I forgot to mention this water breathing tech, but what you guys are going to want to do is use your first skill into your 4th skill pretty much. Now, you guys can use this to cover a large distance, or if you guys notice your opponent is blocking and he's a great deal away, you guys can use this technique pretty much in guard break him, since you guys are using your first skill to close in the distance and you guys are using your 4th skill to guard break. Now, I'm not also aware of how many people know this, but you guys can actually also drift with water breathing's first skill as seen in the following clip. Alright, so now moving on to the cons of water breathing. So for the very first con I'm going to be talking about the 3rd skill. Now, sometimes this skill doesn't hit for some reason. Now, I'm not really too sure why that is, but an example of it would be, let's say that your opponent is holding block and pretty much you use your 3rd skill and he were to dash back. Instead of hitting your opponent, it would hit the space your opponent was previously in. Alright, so now moving on to the next con of water breathing, I'm going to be talking about its 2nd skill, water wheel. Now, I'm not really too sure why this happens, but sometimes when you do use the skill, it knocks the opponent right out of it. Now, moving on to the last and final con of water breathing, I'm going to be talking about how people call you guys spammers. Now, for anyone using water breathing and you guys don't spam, I know for a fact, you know, a good majority of the matches you've won, people have called you spammers before you executed them. And honestly, for those wondering, you know, what's an example of a water spammer? This guy right here. This is literally the perfect example of a water spammer. Alright, so now moving on to ways on how to counter water breathing. So for the first possible way you guys can is by increasing your mobility and entering monkey mode. Pretty much what I mean by monkey mode is to start jumping around and stuff, so it makes it harder for your opponent to aim their attacks. So the second way is by PBing. Now, I know a lot of people are like, how do you PB though? How do you PB? Well, I was honestly wondering the same thing, but the thing is that what you guys need to do is you guys need to raise your guys' in-game volume. Because honestly, when I did this, it honestly helped me increase my PBing ability tenfold. And I mean, hey, you might be incredibly, talented at perfect blocking, but you guys just don't know it. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys enjoy content like this, feel free to subscribe. And honestly, hey, bro, just help a brother out, you know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.